All right. So, a couple of things. I may not play much of the Hearkenwold module today. Mostly, I think I want to talk about a couple of the changes I've made. So, one of the bugs that we've noticed was that the damage adder for creatures wasn't working correctly, and I figured that out. What it was is in the tool set, the variable it was this, but in the game engine it was using this. So the game engine, when it read in the data from the tool set, it didn't know what it was and just assigned 0 to it. So I fixed that. So as part of the test I'm going to do here, I have some text that'll show up when I'm in debug mode, just to kind of show that it's working. And the creature in Hearkenwold, I went and changed it so that they do have a damage adder. Doratine was just setting this to 0 because he knew it wasn't working. So anyway, I made the one that we're going to see, Bugbear Priestess. They have a damage adder. The other thing I changed was for the damage die and the number of dice. The equation before was just doing the number of dice multiplied by whatever the random number was for the damage die. And I changed it now so that the dice rolls are separate. So if you have three d6, this for loop would go 3 times, and each time you would add a value of 1 through 6. So it's, instead of if you rolled a 5 3 times 5, it's now you could have a roll of 2, then a roll of 6, then a roll of 3, no separate ones. And this will show each individual roll. Then plus the damage adder gets added at the end, plus any of the resistances, and then I have a total damage being reported at the very end after the resistances. So anyway, the encounter I was gonna kind of test out is, because I've been working on the caster AI a bit more. It was really buggy with when the caster would try to move to the most optimal casting position before casting. That was causing some problems, but I think I'm getting a little closer. I also tried to fix the casting if it already cast a bless spell, doing that multiple times. And I think I fixed that as well. I'm trying to think of what the problem was with that. I remember it was. So in the tool set, there's 2 ways that you can choose the effect that's used by a spell. You can either just assign the effect tag, or you can have a list of effect tags. So if your spell, did basically 2 or 3 effects, like a bless, and then it also did a protection from evil or a couple of different things. You could have multiple effects that are used for that one spell. And since I brought this caster AI over from IceBlink Basic, in IceBlink Basic, I just use the list. I don't have a single tag, and so I fixed that in here so that it checks to see if you're using just the single tag or the list, and that should have fixed all of the issues. Okay, so I think this first time around, I'm just gonna not do my attack. I'm just gonna skip, see what the creatures do. All right, so it looks like the opening move was they're an advanced general caster. I also have a flag, so the builder can use the new AI or use the old AI for their module. But I set it to true in Hearkenwold for testing. So they try to do a random heal spell. They don't have any. They tried another heal spell, so it chooses a number between 1 and 4, random. So you don't know if you're going to do a heal, damage, buff, or debuff. But it looks like it rolled a 1, so it tried heal, then it rolled a 1, tried heal, and if there is no heal spell, it just keeps trying. I think it tries like 10 times, and if it doesn't find a spell, then it just moves on to an attack. Maybe it's 5 times, sorry. So 1, no, try to damage, doesn't have that. So it tried 5 times and gave up, and then just tried to do an attack instead. And 1, 2, 3. So looks like the next one tried to use a defense spell, didn't have it. Then tried a responsive spell, didn't have that, so then it went into the random section for a debuff, and it does have that, so it cast a hold. And Trumpkin failed his saving throw, and so he's got a hold. The next one tried to do a must have not did the defensive, didn't roll a high enough number. It rolled high enough for responsive, but it doesn't have one, or nothing met the criteria. Responsive spells would be something like if one of the creatures was held and they had a free action spell, they would try to remove the hold. Or if some of the creatures were injured enough for the criteria, then it would try to heal. Those are the kind of responsive type spells. Anyway, it comes down to the random. It rolled a 2, so it did cast a bless. So everybody right now has bless. So we shouldn't see another bless spell for a while until this runs out. So it casts bless. The next one, try to use a defensive. It rolled above 30, but it doesn't have one. It rolled lower than 30, so you don't see the attempt at a responsive spell. There's a 70% chance it'll do a defense, and defense is either a mirror image or stone skin. And so it comes into the random ones. It tried to heal, doesn't have it. Heal, doesn't have it. Debuff, it has that. But it needed to move. So it must have been number 5, this one. It needs to move before it can see somebody. And it was probably up higher. It started at 5.2. It moved to 5.3 and then to 4.4. But it must not have had the range or the sight. So it gave up. Oh, it was trying to target Trumpkin, and it probably was blocked right here, the corner. Or it saw that he was already held, so it gave up. All right, skip. So that's some of the weird movement things that I've noticed that I haven't figured it out. So it moved from here, it starts floating, ends up over here. But it was trying to cast the hold and on Corin, but he succeeded. So and it shouldn't have moved up here, but I think the reason it moved, and I'm trying to figure this out, but the one person was going to kind of come down here, and I think it's retaining the memory of this being an optimal location for that one. Even though from here it could have cast that hold spell. The other thing is creatures right now don't have the same kind of attack of opportunity if they try to cast a spell right next to a PC. I'll have to work on that as part of the AI, so that if they are adjacent, they'll have to make a decision on whether they want to try to move away or stay here. All right, skip. All right, so that nobody can move, they're kind of stuck. Yeah, so again, somebody moved from here over to here when there's already a creature here, so that's part of that casting movement issue that I'm still trying to figure out. The other thing too is I need to add if you have a thief and they're hiding in shadows, they shouldn't target, even though they just did. So that's something I need to add to the code. So everybody's held now. The other thing you can notice if it stops here. Okay, so the bless must have run out, so they cast another bless. Okay, so here's they're attacking. They get a +4 because the PC was held. +4 to their attack roll. So the first damage roll, so it's just 1d8, so they just get one roll, but they rolled a 5. Plus, I have a +5 damage adder, so the total damage is 10. Kind of brutal, but I just testing. So that's working now. And probably not gonna get an attack. Oh, there we go. We'll attack for fun. But they just keep dropping hold spells on us. They're not doing bless anymore because they're all still. They have 3 rounds still. Some of them 2. So if everybody's held, they shouldn't cast a hold spell. They'll just attack. But once the old spells wears off, now see they don't have bless, so somebody might cast a bless spell if their random gets to buff number 2. We'll see. Yep, somebody got a random, so they did the bless. They're trying to do hold. So they're still trying to, even though she's hiding, they're able to cast spells. So. This open thing, when it shows like open, what that means is you're all no. So for this person number 7, I try to calculate all of the locations that are that they could move to, including the one that they're currently on. So you can see there's an O right here. So the square they're on is open and this one is, but they can't move to any of these others. So when I try to figure out the optimal casting location, it only looks at these 2 squares as options. Like in this creature, it could actually move here and then a bunch out here. So it would look at all of these squares that it could actually get to and see which one of these is the most optimal location to cast from. If in this case, it's probably just stay where you're at. It's the best. And down they go. So this is just a short video. I'll try to do a little more debugging to try and figure out the weird moves that we see. But for the most part, it seems like they're making good decisions as far as casting. So just for kicks, I'll try this one here. That we've already done this encounter, but in this one there's some casters down here and some blocking walls. So I'll go through this one quick, see what happens. Try to do a hold spell, nothing. Bless. Got blocked off by this person. One of the things you notice when they cast a bless spell, it doesn't hit these people because they're on the other side of the wall. But when they're trying to determine the best location to cast from, I didn't include the wall. So it's trying to hit these ones, but the spell itself won't. But my code for trying to pick the best spot thinks it can, so I need to fix that as well. I don't know where he's going. Is he trying to target somebody? I didn't turn the debug mode on, so I can't see what they're thinking. Must be trying to target somebody on the other side. So let's see what they start doing. They're trying to do a hold. So far it seems fine. This one didn't move all the way in. Not sure why they're stopping. I know that they can't actually get all the way, but maybe they were trying to attack. So far, movement-wise, they're not standing on top of each other, so that's good. And it's really just the casters that have that problem. The normal attackers don't seem to have movement problems. They're using a different AI. Yeah. Seems like they target a person that already has hold. So I'll have to look at that. But they're not doing the bless until it runs out. How long do they have? 2? Some are on 6. I wonder if bless is set to be stackable. Seems like it. Can't get in there. Leave. Oh, because they think they can get in over here, but they'll have to go all the way around to get down here and then there. Probably best just to wait. Now nobody can get to them. So they'll come back, but has anybody got... They probably could try a hold spell here. Yeah, Bless comes back. And somebody did a hold spell. And that's it. Alright, so we'll end here for today. So I'll try and fix those bugs and then get back to proper playthrough. Alright,